Throughout Resident Evil 4, there are many times where Ashley is either added to or removed from the party. Up until you rescue her from the church, she's not with you, and during the castle area, she's taken away. Her rooms, traps, and enemies were designed with Ashley's presence or absence in mind. You'll encounter rooms with puzzles requiring her assistance that take you to areas Leon isn't supposed to be able to access, or she'll interact with things that Leon cannot. This of course begs the question, what would happen if Ashley were absent in these situations? And on the flip side, what would happen if she were present in situations she wasn't supposed to be? Let's find out. Alright, we've only just arrived, but we've located Ashley. Mission accomplished. Let's head on back, guys. What's the matter? Speechless? It's a bit odd, but with Ashley in our party, we can't talk to them at all. If we enter the house and turn the corner, the screen glitches out and we're thrown right into the battle. We've mentioned in past videos that most enemies can and will target Ashley, even in locations she's not supposed to be in. That's immediately apparent here as they target her. They can also carry her away. Strangely, having Ashley here breaks the map, and this one has us scratching our heads. The map is fully loaded before triggering the scene in the house. After that scene, not so much. So perhaps it is connected to the cutscene glitching out. We saw how everything looked okay back at the house, but if we backtrack now, the house and the surrounding scenery are also gone. Boxes and enemies we downed earlier are still visible, and so is the fire too. It makes the map look rather odd when viewed from above. In the next area, Ashley is forced out of our party. This happens in a few areas of the game, and there doesn't appear to be any workaround. So as a disclaimer, there may be some areas of intrigue that won't be highlighted. So this time, Ashley will be joining us for the fight against the Big Cheese. For this to work, we need to leave the fight and exit the area. Once Ashley rejoins us, we can head back. We have to use a hack to return to the fight as there's no way to enter the barn. The Big Cheese doesn't target Ashley, it will only harm her if she happens to be in the way of one of his attacks against Leon. If we defeat him at this point, he'll just fade away. No death cutscene, and he won't drop the false eye. Before we move on to the castle, let's play with some rocks. Some big rocks. Certainly, this is going to crush Ashley much like it does Leon, and it goes right through her. But it can't crush enemies, so Ashley must be a ghost that has cursed us with her presence. Next, we're tackling the crank puzzle. This is the room where Leon has to protect Ashley as she turns the cranks to raise platforms from the water. If we enter it with just Leon, nothing of note really happens. We're unable to progress at all, blocked by the dual switch room. Even if we were to somehow make it past this, the cranks out of reach up top would stop us. So we're going to tap into some help. Not Ashley, of course, we're going to borrow our buddy Luis. This guy just fires away right off the bat. Complete dead aim. Getting him to cooperate is difficult as he doesn't listen to Leon. In order to make this dual switch room work, we have to constantly threaten him by aiming, and use a short time of his crouching animation to move. Repeats a handful of times and we can make it to the other switch. The crank is raised. We'll have Luis handle this. What? Okay, he seems to be running towards somewhere. Let's retry this with collision off. He wastes no time and ditches us easily. So let's try this again with some of our own quickness. And wow, he's picking up speed. If we turn off collision, the dude just blasts off like a rocket. Gotta go fast. We managed to keep up, but he's stopping and aiming now. It looks like an enemy has spawned back in the room. If we aim at him, we might be able to get him out of this. And now he's stuck crouching. Maybe he just needs a little jolt to get him moving again. So let's try shooting him. Okay, so maybe he needs a whole bunch of jolts. That can certainly be arranged. All right, he's completely stuck now. Moving on. So let's rewind a bit and have Leon operate the crank so we can continue to the top section. We just have to blast these guys first. Just a few shots and oh, that's the crash. Luis must not have an animation for getting grabbed by the enemy. So if we blast these guys before they get to Luis, we can continue on to the top section. Just a few steps and the game soft locks. It seems the game doesn't like Luis being up here. So let's skip through the castle to a notable area I really wanted to try. So we're facing off against Salazar. Ashley's normally not with us during this fight, having been captured by him and sent off to the island, as we can see here in the cutscene. And that's the last thing we will see, because entering this fight with Ashley brings the void to us once more. This fight is now more of a nightmare than ever before. That eyeball is such a small target, I can't fathom trying to hit it in this situation. The trigger for the void this time is allowing the cutscene to play with Ashley in the party. If we skip the cutscene, we can get into the fight with our vision intact. We quickly learn, however, that just like with the big cheese, Ashley cannot be targeted. She can't even be damaged, no matter the attack it phases through her. There's not much more to see here, so we're moving along to the mines. The double El Gigante fight and the minecarts are what we're down here for, and we're starting with the fight. These guys can and do hurt her, which makes sense given there's a time early in the game where an El Gigante can interact with Ashley, but more so, they just get in each other's way when trying to attack her, causing them to walk around in circles or stop moving entirely. This fight is special in that the floor can be opened to drop the bosses into the fiery depths. You may be wondering, what if we drop Ashley in there? Because that is exactly the correct line of thought when trying to break the game. If we kindly tell Ashley to wait right here, and we grab hold of the lever, Ashley is gone. Or not, the cutscene pushes her to the side, though we don't see that until it ends. I wonder if she could fall in if she would end up looking like the El Gigante we dropped in earlier. Not a pretty sight. From here, we make our way to the minecarts. The game doesn't know how to handle Ashley being in the minecarts, and at times she'll fall through the floor and start chasing after Leon. We of course have to test how she interacts with the crouch actions Leon encounters. The wooden board, surprisingly, knocks her out in one hit. With how things have gone, it was expected she'd phase through it. That's certainly what will happen if we place her on the track, right? Just like with the boulder? Not at all the case. She's sent right through the wall. It's starting to seem a bit strange how some things can hurt Ashley while others cannot. Almost seems like there are different damage variables in the game, and some can never be applied to Ashley. Moving ahead a bit further, we arrive at the bulldozer. As she's apparently the only one with a license to drive one of these wrecking machines, you might think Leon has hit a wall, yet again, when we remove Ashley from the party. But he can interact with the bulldozer. The command is here, and if we press it, we have a ghost in the machine. Other than the bulldozer driving itself, the scene plays out the same, though the enemies now target only Leon. This is a side note, but if we clip through the wall and go to the elevator before starting the bulldozer, and go to this area that appears to always be partially loaded, we can make the enemies spawn. They ignore Leon and run to this location. Now, if we backtrack to the bulldozer, we can run the whole mob over. Rather satisfying. Okay, we've reached our final destination. We're not having Ashley wait here, we're bringing her face to face against the source of all our problems, Sadler. But this fight, unfortunately, is much the same as Salazar's. Sadler cannot target or harm Ashley. What's more, even if we have her wait on one of the collapsing bridges, she doesn't go anywhere when they open. That's twice now we try to stop her with collapsing floors. And twice we've been had. With nothing left to do, we have Leon board the water ski by himself and escape the island as our adventure comes to a close. That concludes our lesson on the science of Resident Evil 4. And hey, if you like videos on your favorite games being broken, why not subscribe right now for more content on HorrorScoped? You can always unsubscribe later if you lose interest. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all again very soon on HorrorScoped. Cheers!